American Dream Immigration. The true meaning of belonging to We the People, United States.
Welcome to Pathway to Citizenship, where we talk about the journey, the heart, and the hidden meanings behind the U.S. Citizenship Test. I'm Anne, your host and guide through this wonderful maze of history and hope. And today, we have my favorite guest, Mark, who's been studying like a champion.
Thanks, Anne. Though favorite makes me nervous, you only call me that when you have big questions ready.
Guilty. Because today's topic is one of my favorites, the meaning behind becoming a U.S. citizen. We all study the 100 civics questions, but behind each one is a story about what it means to belong.
I like that. Sometimes I feel like I'm memorizing facts, but not really connecting with the spirit of them.
Exactly. Take the very first question in the test. What is the supreme law of the land? The Constitution. Simple answer, right? But behind it lies a promise that no one, not even the president, is above the law. It's a declaration of fairness.
So when I say the Constitution, I'm not just naming a document. I'm saying that everyone's equal before the law.
Beautifully said. That's citizenship in one sentence. Becoming a U.S. citizen isn't just about living in America. It's about living by the idea that rules protect people, not control them.
That actually gives me chills. Where I grew up, the law sometimes felt like a weapon, not a shield.
And that's why so many people take this step. To live in a country where the law belongs to the people. Remember question number 19. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words?
We the people.
Exactly. Those 3 words are like a handshake between the government and its citizens. When you say the oath of allegiance, you're saying, I'm one of the people now. I share in this responsibility.
Responsibility. That's a word that hits hard. I used to think becoming a citizen was just about rights, voting, traveling, having a passport.
Those are part of it, but the deeper meaning is about commitment. Think of it like joining a team. You get the uniform, yes, but you also play by the rules, cheer for everyone, and help the team win.
So when I answer civics questions, I'm not just passing a test. I'm saying, I want to play for this team.
Exactly, Mark. The U.S. Citizenship Test is like a conversation between you and history. Every answer says something about who you want to be as part of this country.
That's actually inspiring. I always thought it was just a formality, but now it feels sacred, almost.
It is. The questions about freedom, government, justice aren't random trivia. They're the foundation of identity. Think about question 76. What is one promise you make when you become a U.S. citizen?
To be loyal to the United States.
Right. And loyalty doesn't mean blind obedience. It means believing in the ideals that built this nation, freedom, equality, and democracy, and protecting them, even when it's hard.
So when I say the oath, I'm not just saying words. I'm stepping into a shared dream.
Perfectly said. Citizenship isn't a finish line, it's a beginning.
You make it sound like becoming American is more about joining a story than just changing a passport.
That's exactly what it is, Mark. It's joining a 250-year-old story that keeps being written by people like you.
You know, Anne, I've been thinking about the oath of allegiance you mentioned. It says things like, I will support and defend the Constitution. That sounds so serious. Do people really think about what those words mean?
Great question. Some people see it as ceremony, but for many, it's deeply emotional. It's like a wedding vow. You're promising faithfulness, not to a person, but to an ideal.
That's heavy and kind of beautiful. I remember reading question 97. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens? The answer is to vote in a federal election. That feels powerful now that I think about it. Like your voice becomes part of that we the people.
Exactly. Voting isn't just a right. It's how you talk back to history. Every time you vote, you're shaping the story of the country. That's why question 61 says, one way Americans can participate in democracy is to vote or run for office. Citizenship is about participation.
You know, when I was a kid, I saw my parents watch the news and complain about politicians, but they couldn't vote. They used to say, someday you'll have that power. I didn't understand it then.
And now you're about to earn it. That's the transformation, going from being a resident to being a voice. You become part of the national conversation.
That's actually what I want most, the right to belong, to say, I'm part of this.
And belonging is the soul of citizenship. Let's connect it to another civics question, number 69. What do we show loyalty to when we say the Pledge of Allegiance?
The United States.
Right. But think about what that means. It's not loyalty to one leader or one party. It's loyalty to a shared idea that everyone deserves liberty and justice.
I used to think liberty and justice for all was just a line kids said in school. But now I see it's a promise that every generation has to keep.
Exactly. And as a new citizen, you'll help keep that promise. Citizenship isn't just about being accepted, it's about contributing. You're not a guest, you're a builder.
That reminds me of the question about Susan B. Anthony. She fought for women's rights, right?
Yes. That's question 35, and it's a perfect example. She wasn't born with the right to vote, but she fought for it anyway. That's what citizenship looks like in action, standing up for fairness.
I love that. It means citizenship isn't something you hold, it's something you do.
Exactly. Think about Martin Luther King Jr., question 64. What did he do?
He fought for civil rights.
Yes, and he used his voice to expand the meaning of citizenship, to make sure America lived up to its own promises. Every citizen, old or new, continues that work.
Wow. It's like every question on the test is really asking, what will you do with this citizenship?
That's the real test, Mark. The 100 questions just open the door, but the rest of your life is the essay.
That's powerful. I think I'll remember that on interview day.
You should. And when they ask, why do you want to become a U.S. citizen? Don't give them a rehearsed answer. Speak from that place of belonging.
I'd say, because I want to be part of the country that believes in liberty and justice for all, and I want to help keep that promise alive.
Perfect answer. Honest, thoughtful, and straight from the heart.
Thanks, Anne. You know, before today I was just studying to pass, but now I'm studying to understand.
And that's what makes you ready, Mark. Because becoming a U.S. citizen isn't just about knowing the answers, it's about living them.
U.S. Citizenship Oath, meaning living the promise of freedom.
Welcome back to Pathway to Citizenship. Last time, Mark and I explored what it truly means to belong, to see the test as more than facts. Today, we're diving deeper into one of the most powerful parts of becoming a U.S. citizen, the Oath of Allegiance.
Ah, the famous oath. I've read it so many times, but honestly, it still feels like a long, serious paragraph. I understand it's important, but some of the words sound so official.
You're right, it's formal, but it's also deeply symbolic. Think of it like poetry written in legal English. Every phrase has history and meaning. Let's unpack it line by line, the way we'd unpack a story.
Okay, I like that.
It begins, I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state, or sovereignty.
That's the part that sounds like something out of a Shakespeare play.
It does, but here's what it really means. You're saying that your loyalty now belongs to the United States alone. It doesn't mean forgetting where you came from. It means promising that your allegiance, your civic loyalty, is to this country.
So I'm not erasing my past, I'm choosing my future.
Exactly. America doesn't ask you to erase your heritage. It celebrates it. But in law and citizenship, you stand as an American first. That's the heart of self-government. Citizens who commit to the same set of ideals.
I like that. It's more about unity than uniformity.
Beautifully said, Mark. The oath continues that I will support and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
That line always makes me feel like I'm joining the military.
You don't have to, unless you choose to. What it really means is that you promise to protect the nation's principles, freedom, equality, and justice. You're saying, I'll stand up for the rule of law. Even voting or speaking out peacefully can be part of that defense.
So defending the Constitution isn't just about war. It's also about standing for what's right.
Precisely. That's why the test includes questions like number 53. What is the rule of law? The answer is, everyone must follow the law. That's your everyday defense of the Constitution.
Wow, I never connected that before. The civics questions are like the foundation, and the oath builds the house on top of them.
Exactly. You've got it. Then comes this part, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. It's about loyalty, not blind obedience, but faith in a shared system of fairness.
So I'm promising to believe in America's ideals, even when times get tough.
Yes, citizenship is a partnership. The government protects your rights, and you protect the ideals. That's why the oath ends with, "So help me God." It's optional, but powerful. It means you're calling on your conscience to keep this promise.
That's actually beautiful. It feels like you're saying, I give my word to something greater than myself.
Exactly. And that's what makes the oath sacred. It's not a legal technicality. It's a moral commitment to be part of something bigger.
You know, I think I'll read it differently now. Not as something I have to say, but as something I get to say.
That's the perfect mindset, because when you raise your right hand, you're not just becoming a citizen, you're declaring, I belong to this story now.
You know, Anne, when I think about citizenship, I used to imagine big things, like voting or serving on a jury. But what about the small things? What does it mean to live as a citizen day to day?
Excellent question. That's where the real meaning lies. The big moments, voting, taking the oath, are milestones. But everyday citizenship is how you show those values in action.
Like how?
Well, think of the civics question number 61. What are 2 ways that Americans can participate in their democracy? The answer is vote, run for office. But it also says other things, like joining a civic group, writing to a newspaper, or helping in your community. Those are daily acts of citizenship.
So even volunteering or recycling is part of it.
Absolutely. When you help make your community stronger, you're living out the idea of we the people. You're practicing democracy from the ground up.
That's kind of cool. It means I don't need to be in Congress to make a difference.
Exactly. Think of democracy as a giant quilt. Each person's small actions are stitches that hold it together.
I like that image. It makes it feel more personal.
That's the point. Citizenship isn't about grand gestures. It's about consistency. When you follow the law, pay taxes, respect others' rights, you're helping the system work. Remember question 97. What is one responsibility that is only for United States citizens?
To vote in a federal election.
Yes, and think about that word, responsibility. Not everyone in the world gets that right. Voting isn't just a privilege. It's how you tell your government what you believe.
My friend once said, if you don't vote, someone else decides your future for you. That stuck with me.
Your friend's absolutely right. Voting is how you take ownership of the country. It's like steering a ship. You can't complain about the direction if you never touch the wheel.
That's true. But sometimes people say, my vote doesn't matter.
I hear that all the time. But think about it. Every movement in American history began with a few people who believed their voices mattered. The civil rights movement, women's suffrage, even the revolution itself. We, the people, started as just a handful of signatures.
That's powerful. It means small voices can echo through time.
Exactly. And your voice joins that chorus now. That's the deeper meaning of question 47. Name one right only for United States citizens. The answer is to vote in a federal election. That right gives you power.
So being a citizen is really about using your voice, not just having one.
Perfectly put. And your voice can be expressed in so many ways, teaching your kids about fairness, respecting others' beliefs, even learning more about history.
Speaking of that, I noticed some questions on the test are about freedom of religion and speech. That's question 30 and 83, right?
Yes, those two go hand in hand. They remind us that America's strength comes from diversity, of thought, of faith, of background. That's why the First Amendment is so important.
It's interesting. In my country, people sometimes avoided speaking their minds. Here, people debate everything, from politics to pizza toppings.
Laughs. That's the American spirit. Everyone has an opinion. But it's also a reminder that free speech isn't about always agreeing. It's about respecting the right to disagree.
That's something I had to learn. Freedom isn't always comfortable, but it's essential.
Well said. Freedom means everyone gets a voice, even those we don't like. It's noisy, it's messy, but it's democracy.
You know, Anne, the more we talk, the more I see that the test isn't just about memorizing. It's about understanding how these ideas play out in real life.
Exactly, Mark. Every question on that list is a mirror. It reflects who we are as a people and what we believe in.
And I guess living as a citizen means keeping that reflection clean, doing your part so the mirror doesn't get cloudy.
That's a beautiful metaphor. Yes, citizenship is polishing the mirror every day with your actions, your voice, and your integrity.
You know, Anne, for the first time, I'm not just studying for the test. I'm preparing for the life that comes after it.
And that, Mark, is the real mark of readiness, because the test ends when you pass, but citizenship begins the moment you start living those answers.
The American Dream and the Flag. Freedom, Sacrifice, and Belonging United States.
Welcome back to Pathway to Citizenship. In our last episode, we talked about everyday citizenship, how democracy lives in small acts like voting, volunteering, and respecting others. Today, we're exploring something every applicant recognizes, the American flag.
The flag, it's everywhere. Classrooms, post offices, even coffee mugs. I know question 13 asks, why does the flag have 13 stripes? And the answer's because of the original 13 colonies.
Exactly. And question 95 says, why does the flag have 50 stars for the 50 states? But here's what's fascinating. The flag isn't just history stitched in fabric. It's a living symbol that grows every time someone new joins the country.
So, when a new state joined, like Hawaii, they literally added a star.
Right. It's a reminder that America isn't finished. It's always expanding, not just in geography, but in spirit. Every new citizen, like you, adds something invisible, another kind of star.
I like that. My star might have an accent, though.
That's the best kind. Each accent, each story makes the flag's meaning deeper. Think about the colors: red for courage, white for purity, blue for perseverance. Those aren't just random shades, they're character traits of a nation.
So the flag isn't just about what America was, but what it's trying to be.
Exactly. The flag waves over battles fought, protests marched, schools opened, and new citizens sworn in. During naturalization ceremonies, people often tear up when they see it. It's the visual, we the people.
I think I'll feel that way too. When I take the oath of allegiance and look at the flag, I'll probably see my own story reflected there.
And that's what it's all about. The flag represents unity through diversity. 50 stars, 13 stripes, millions of stories. When you study those civics questions about it, you're really studying your place in that pattern.
That makes every answer feel personal. I'm not just memorizing facts. I'm learning the meaning behind them.
Exactly, Mark. And when you stand before that flag on your Citizenship Day, you'll know you're not just looking at history, you're becoming part of it.
You know, Anne, the flag makes me think about the word we've talked about so many times: freedom. It's in so many test questions: freedom of speech, of religion, of the press. But what does it really mean to live with freedom?
Excellent question. Freedom is the heart of the U.S. Citizenship Test and of the country itself. Question 2 asks, what are 2 rights of everyone living in the United States? And the answers include freedom of speech and freedom of religion. Those 2 alone changed human history.
Yeah, I guess I used to think freedom meant doing whatever I want.
That's a common first thought, but in the American sense, freedom isn't chaos, it's choice within responsibility. You can speak freely, but you're also expected to respect others' rights to speak too.
So freedom is like a dance. Everyone gets space, but you can't step on someone else's toes.
Exactly. Beautiful metaphor. Freedom and law move together. That's why question 53, what is the rule of law, is so important. The answer, everyone must follow the law, protects freedom by keeping it fair for all.
That makes sense. Without laws, freedom could turn into selfishness.
Right. True freedom means balance between your rights and your responsibilities. Think about voting. It's your right, but it's also your duty. The same goes for jury service or even paying taxes. Those actions keep the system of freedom alive.
You know, I used to think jury duty sounded boring. But now I see it's like helping the country keep its promise of justice.
Exactly. Question 55 mentions the Senate has 100 members. Question 42 says Congress makes federal laws. All of that represents how power gets shared, not hoarded. The whole structure of government is designed to protect freedom from power itself.
That's genius. I never realized how connected everything was. The Constitution, laws, even my everyday choices.
That's the secret of the test. It's not trivia, it's a map. Every question points to one idea. Freedom isn't a gift you receive, it's a responsibility you practice.
So, Being a U.S. citizen means I don't just have freedom, I maintain it.
Exactly, Mark. Freedom isn't something America keeps for you. It's something you keep for America. So here we are, Mark, the final segment of our journey. You've studied the history, understood the oath, explored the flag, and reflected on freedom. I think it's time we talk about what ties it all together, the American dream.
Ah, the famous dream. I always hear people say it, but it means different things depending on who you ask. What does it really mean in the context of citizenship?
Great question. The American dream is the living soul of the test. It's not written on paper, but it echoes behind every question. When you're asked, what is one right or freedom from the First Amendment? Or what is one promise you make when you become a citizen? You're really being asked, what kind of America do you believe in?
I like that. For me, the dream means starting over. My parents sacrificed everything to bring us here, hoping for opportunity and stability. Taking this test feels like fulfilling that dream for them.
That's beautiful, Mark. And that feeling is exactly what connects you to generations before you. Remember question 99, what is one reason colonists came to America? The answer includes freedom and a better life. That's the original version of your dream.
So the first immigrants and I aren't so different, after all.
Exactly. Their journey was physical, sailing across oceans. Yours is educational and emotional, crossing into belonging. Every new citizen renews that dream.
That's poetic, Anne. But I have to admit, I'm still nervous about the interview.
That's natural. Let's do a quick role play, shall we? I'll be the officer.
Oh boy, here we go.
Mr. Mark, good morning. Why do you want to become a U.S. citizen?
Because I believe in freedom and equality, and I want to contribute to the country that gave me the chance to start again.
Perfect answer. It's short, honest, and heartfelt. They're not testing perfection, they're testing sincerity.
That helps. I'll remember that.
And when you raise your right hand during the ceremony, think about question 19. The idea of self-government is in the first 3 words of the Constitution. What are these words?
We the people.
Yes, from that moment on, you're part of that we. You'll no longer be studying America, you'll be helping to shape it.
That's incredible. You know, when I started this journey, I thought the test was about history. Now I see it's about identity.
Exactly. It's not about memorizing, it's about connecting. Each question is a thread, and together they weave your story into America's story.
So if I pass, and I will, I'll be adding my voice to the choir of We the People.
You already are. The test just gives you the microphone.
That's a perfect image. I think I'm ready now, not just to pass, but to belong.
And that's the whole purpose, Mark. To understand that citizenship isn't the end of your journey, it's the beginning of your contribution.
You know, Anne, this might sound cheesy, but I feel grateful just studying for it. Every question has made me appreciate this country more deeply.
That's not cheesy at all. That's the point. The test teaches you what many born citizens forget, that freedom, history, and democracy need care.
Then maybe that's my version of the American dream, to help keep that care alive.
And that, Mark, is the truest dream of all. Congratulations, future citizen.
Thank you, Anne, for teaching me not just the answers, but the meaning behind them.
My pleasure. And to everyone listening, remember, the U.S. Citizenship Test isn't just a test. It's an invitation to join a story that began with hope and continues with you. Study hard, speak proudly, and carry your star into the flag of freedom.
Then here's to the journey and to the dream that never stops growing.
Beautifully said. Welcome home, Mark. Welcome to We the People.